The Grace Help Centre in Moinoi, near Brits, is a safe haven for many. It's been operating for over 20 years. It takes in vulnerable women and children who've been abused, raped and trafficked. The founder of the centre says the demand for such help in North West continues to grow. Our reporter Zinhle is there. She joins us now. Zinhle, good afternoon to you. This seems to be such an important centre.
It is indeed, like you said, it's a safe haven for areas, especially around Moinoi, your Brits, your Rustenburg areas, your Marikana areas. And according to the founder of this particular help center, that is where she gets most of her victims that come into the center looking for help, vulnerable. It's a 24-hour help center here in Moinoi, and even in the middle of the night, she gets calls, she gets women needing help to come, needing shelter here in Moinoi, running away from husbands, running away from boyfriends that have been abusing them for over a long period of time. So it is quite a very crucial and very important place that we are at here in Moinoi this afternoon, Stephen, just a day before the 16 days, the launch of the 16 days against gender-based violence. I just want to bring in the founder of this area or of this particular place just to get a sense of what really inspired her to even open a place that has become so crucial to the people around here. Thank you so much, Rina. Take us back to over 20 years ago when you decided to open this place. What motivated, what brought you to that rationale of opening a place like this?
Well, I can't say that I had a vision or a dream to open a place like this. I identified the need for a place like this because being a pastor's wife, people always come for help. And then I took in the first woman into my home, and it just escalated. And when I saw again the police would bring in little children, abandoned children, hobos, women, just such a variety of cases, and then it just became so big that I had to get help. In 2004 I registered as a place of safety where I took in women and their children, and then in 2010 we had to open up a CYCC for teenagers because we have a lot of rape victims of young girls. So now it's quite a big place.
How many people do you accommodate here?
I accommodate 50 children that's unaccompanied children without their parents, and then about 20 to 30 women per month with their children, and then I have a staff of 30. So altogether with about 100 people on the ground per day.
You have run this place for over 20 years or so. Yeah. Would you say that there's a high demand of places like this in the area? And do you think gender-based violence will ever be conquered?
No, I don't think it will be conquered because there cannot be a policeman in every home. Women are very vulnerable. And, you know, the economy has a role to play. Where there's no money, there's conflict. And where there's no jobs, there's conflict. Alcohol plays a big role. And I don't think we can wipe it out, but I think we can do much more.
Thank you so much. That was Rina van der Berg. She's the one that founded this place a few years ago. It caters a lot of women, like she said, about 100 people that live here that come needing shelter, needing help. I want to bring in one of the survivors, a woman that walked in through these doors at some point a few years ago as a victim, desperate in need, and now she's here. I just want to bring her into the conversation. Thank you so much. Take me back to the day you came through these doors. Just very briefly, your state of mind, what was happening in your life at that time?
It was about 15 years ago, in 2005 August. I was abused for 12 years in a relationship. Me and my children were very, very abused. My ex-husband was an alcoholic. I was abused, broken, battered, and I knocked on Rina's door, and she opened for me. And since then I'm here. She inspired me, she healed me, She walked the walk with me. I'm working for her today, and today I can stand up with my head held high to say that I'm a survivor. Just by getting help. Ask for help.
Let me get in there. How does somebody know when to leave? I mean, you were in that situation. You were in a marriage for 12 years. What made you leave, and how do you know when you have to leave?
That's a very difficult question, because you must remember an abuser makes you feel useless. You're worth nothing. Nobody loves you. You don't mean anything to anybody. But somewhere along the line, someone will tell you, get out, you're worth it. And you must just listen. You're a woman, you're worth it. God put us here for a purpose. And think of your children. Don't stay there just for your children's sake. Get help. There's enough help. Be a survivor. Be a winner. Get out of it.
And if you had an opportunity to speak to women across the country, across the continent, what message would you tell them? A lot of women are battling to come out of these abusive relationships. You know some of the reasons that they put to stay in these abusive relationships. If you had a moment, if you just had like a minute to speak to each and every woman, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, you're worth it. You are worth it. Get out of it, get help. There are help. SAPS can help. Social development is there. Your neighbor can help. Get help. Go out, go somewhere. There's always somebody helping you. Just do it before it's too late.
Thank you so much. That was just one of the survivors that once walked through these doors, desperate, vulnerable, hurt, abused. Her face was black and blue, and now she's standing here as a survivor. And you know, Stephen, it's so easy for some of us who don't have a first-hand experience to gender-based violence to not understand what the big issue is about gender-based violence, why everybody's making a big deal about gender-based violence. But if you are somebody that has experienced it, if you're a child that saw your mother being beaten up like myself, if you've been in that situation, you will understand why it's so important for everybody to stand up and to try and stop the scourge of gender-based violence, even though it seems like a mammoth task, but I think something can be done to try and bring it down.
Zinhle Kenyane, thank you very much indeed for that report, and thank you for sharing your story with us as well.